Okay, now I want to talk about what everyone has commented on before. Red matter. That stuff. First of all, where the hell did it come from? I mean, I'm sure Spock didn't find it laying around on Vulcan. But second, how do they control this stuff? One drop of it would create a black hole that would envelop a planet. But then also, it could also create a wormhole to send you back in time. First of all, how would you control that? Know what time you go to. Second, how could you control it with whether you destroy a planet with a black hole or you go back in time? What the hell? Now, Nero. Let's just say he's barely better than Shinzon. What the fuck is with those tattoos? Other than that weird ass, those weird ass uniforms, he's a typical Romulan. But he's supposedly in command of a mining ship. Yet, these mining ships have weapons that are superior to even Starfleet's most powerful torpedoes at the time, which were quantum torpedoes and tricobalt devices. But okay, it's the last 10 seconds. So after Vulcan is destroyed, Kirk tries to get Spock to follow instead of regrouping with the fleet. I don't know, Lentara sector or something. But Spock wouldn't hear it. Kirk insists. They get into a fight. Verbal fight for now. And Spock maroons him on Delta Vega. Since when have you known any Starfleet commander to do that to someone, especially a Vulcan? No matter what timeline you're in. But this is where Kirk meets old Spock and Scotty. Not to mention that little alien from Star Trek Insurrection. I don't even remember what they're called, but same thing. Even the same glasses. The bits with Scotty, old Spock, and young Kirk are pretty cool. Especially the reference to Admiral Archer's Beagle. The part about Porthos was pretty funny. I mean, and only a hardcore Trekkie would have known that. In fact, first couple times I saw it in the theater, I only heard a couple people other than me who got that and laughed. But it was cool seeing Nimoy back. And it was cool to, of course, hear him talk about, you know, the previous timeline. And I understand why old Spock wouldn't go with them back to the Enterprise. But when they transported, they used what they called transwarp beaming. There are so many problems with that. First of which, by Voyager's time, they hadn't even perfected it. Remember an episode called Maneuvers? B'Elanna was trying to beam Chakotay out of the Kazon ship when the Kazon ship wasn't moving, yet Voyager was at warp. She had a nearly impossible time doing it, not to mention the dampening field. But I digress. How they beamed onto the ship. First of all, they hadn't even thought of intership beaming at that time. So, to do it without a transporter pad and have Scotty end up what I can only surmise is primitive warp injectors or plasma conduits. I don't know, whatever. It was water. And it was weird. It didn't seem to serve any purpose. And I'll talk about my opinion of their warp core later. But once Kirk gets Scotty out of the conduit, security is called to get them. Now, it was quite funny seeing that the dumbass from the bar in the beginning of the movie. But when Spock starts questioning them, and then Kirk baits him into the physical fight, which actually makes sense, because by this time period, Spock hadn't gone through the Kolinar yet. That's still 10 or 15 years away, at least. But finally, Kirk's in command. Of course, everybody criticizes him and makes fun of him for it. But, excuse me. Edit the last few seconds.